Yo, what's up guys, it's Noah from Glitchmaker, back with another episode of King's Allowance. It's been a while, mainly because I've been busy and I haven't really felt like making another one until now. And today I have a really interesting deck. As you can see, it's Crystron K9. But there is no Izuna, which is the neat part. You do not actually need Izuna to run this deck. Basically, Jokel is a very good card. Very good card. Crazy card. It's the main component for the K9 package when being used in this deck. You don't need to use the K9 package as also your non-engine, because you could just replace the Izuna with like other cards like, you know, searchers or hand traps. But let's get into the deck profile. We have one Crystron Smiter. The only effect you care about is the graveyard effect, where you banish it to add a Crystron spell trap. Crystron Tristolos. If the opponent activates a card or effect, you can special summon a Crystron from deck except itself, and then immediately after the effect resolves, synchro summon a machine synchro using monsters you control, including that monster. No, it does not have to use itself for that synchro summon. And you can banish it from graveyard, destroy a synchro you control, and summon 2 Crystron monsters from your deck. Note, they can be the same one, and you can summon another Tristolos. But if you do, you will be locked out of summoning from the extra deck, except for machines the rest of the turn, I believe. Yes, you can only summon from the extra deck machine monsters. So keep that in mind, but usually you're using that effect pretty late into the combo where you're using both engines. 3 Crystron Solfefnir. If it's in hand or grave, you can discard a Crystron card, except itself, special summon it in defense, then destroy a card you control. And then if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special a Crystron monster from deck and defense. It is a level 5. 3 Crystron Sulfidor. If it's in your hand or graveyard, you can target a Crystron card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card. But you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except machines. You will almost always be using this effect before you use Tristolos' effect to summon 2. But keep in mind that once you use either effect that machine locks you, you cannot do a Ripper or Werewolf or something like Nash Knight. 1 Crystron Thistburn, the only effect that matters is you can banish it from the graveyard and add a Crystron monster. 3 Crystron Inclusion. When it's activated, you can add a Crystron card from deck to hand except this card. Note that it adds upon initial activation, so it cannot get Ghost Ogred. The first time each Crystron monster you control will be destroyed by battle each turn, it's not destroyed, and you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a Crystron monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and you can only use that effect once per turn, only activate this card once per turn. 1 Crystron Cluster. Crystron cards you control cannot be banished by your opponent's card effects, so sometimes you pair into Kashtira or Malice and they just can't do anything. You could target 1 face-up card on the field, or 2 if you control a Crystron Synchro. Shuffle a Crystron card from grave or banishment into the deck, except Cluster, and if you do, destroy the targeted cards. It will attempt to resolve as much as possible, so even if the targets get removed, I am pretty sure it will still put something back. Scrap Recycler. When it's normal or special summon, you can Foolish a machine. The other effect does not matter because this is the only Earth machine in the entire deck. But you're basically using it for the Foolish, and you can do and it's not a hard once per turn either. So if you, let's say, brought it back with Clockwork Knight, you can Foolish a second card. And speaking of Foolish, obviously Foolish Burial. 3 K966A Jokel. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in your hand, you can normal summon this card without tributing. I think that's just a blanket effect on most of the K9 monsters. Once per turn, you can reveal it in hand, and a level 5 monster that's also in your hand, special both, but they cannot be used for a light Xyz summon. And then once per turn, you can add a non-aqua Crystron monster from deck to hand. 2 K966B Lantern. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in hand, you get to normal summon it without tributing. You can, once per turn, target a level 5 non-pyro K9 in graveyard. Special summon in both it and this card. Make sure to detach Jokel off the Ripper first before going for the Lantern, because Lantern cannot target Lantern. But obviously you can't use them for a light Xyz summon, and once per turn you can add a Crystron, or not Crystron, a K9 spell trap from deck to hand, of which you run 2. The first one is a Case for K9. When it's activated, you Fire Formation Tinky. K9 monsters you control gain 900 if the opponent has activated a card effect in hand or graveyard. And if this card in Spell Trap Zone is destroyed by card effect, you can set a K9 Quick Play spell from deck or graveyard. And obviously the Quick Play we're going to use is K9X Force Release. During the main phase, you can target 1 K9 Xyz you control, special summon from your extra deck 1 K9 Xyz monster with a different name by using that monster you control. It's treated as an Xyz summon. Then you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls upon the resolution of that effect. No, it doesn't destroy the target. And then at end of battle, if your K9 monster battled this turn, you can set it from graveyard, but that's very rarely going to come out. Because usually if you're swinging twice with Werewolf, the game's ending. 3 Chaotic Elements, basically a whole lot of words on it, but if you have it searches Jokel or Lantern, and if you have 3 or more Pyro and or Aquas in graveyard, you could destroy 1 card in the field. That's never gonna happen, but it might. If your opponent controls a light or dark Pyro or Aqua, so basically like a Jokel or a Lantern, or you could, or if they were lights or something, you can banish it from grave, target a monster your opponent controls, and take control of it until end phase. That's also gonna very rarely come up. And then hand traps, the ones I run are Nibiru, 3 Fuelos, 3 Imperm, 3 Ash, and then I run a few board breakers in 3 Forbidden Droplets, and then 1 Called By. If you don't have some of these cards, you can just replace them with other staples. You could play Ghost Ogres over the Fuelos, or maybe some Super Polys over the Droplets, but the extra deck is kind of tight, so I don't fully recommend doing that. But if you want the more budget option, Super Poly, and I will tell you what cards to take out of the extra deck once we are done going through it. 1 Clockwork Knight. You can target a machine monster with 1,000 or less attack in grave, tribute a machine, except this card, and summon that monster in defense position. The effect upon Link Summon to send a face-up continuous spell you control to the graveyard and add a Clockwork Knight from deck to hand is not going to come up very often. It only comes up if you play Clockwork Knight, the continuous spell. But even if you do that, this card is still mainly here because it puts either the Smiger or the Scrap Recycler into the bin. Because starter, Link ones are cool. SP Little Knight, this could really realistically be any generic Link too. Like, you could play a Silo Hat Rabbit, you could like play an IP and a Unicorn. Like, it could be realistically any Link 2 that does anything, or just a generic Link 2 you can put under Infinity. Really does not matter. It's just, you just need to be able to put some bodies into a link too. 2. Eleskeletus. All monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. And on Synchro Summon, you can add a Crystron card from Grave or Banishment to hand. If it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Crystron monster from Grave or Banishment. 1. Crystron Kuryongdrax. Note that the materials for this one is not standard. It is 2+ tuners and 1 non-tuner monster. If it's Synchro Summon, you can target monsters your opponent controls and or in their graveyard up to the number of materials used for the Synchro Summon of this card. Banish them. And if the Synchro Summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a monster from Banishment. Yeah, you target a banished monster, accept this card, special it to your field. Note that if, let's say, you're in a grind game and you're playing against Draco Tail and one of their fusions is now banished because they used their effect to summon itself and it left the field, Kuryongdrax can revive their fusion. F.A. Dawn Dragster. Basically, it's going to gain 300 attack per its level, and you can drop its level by 2 for a spell trap negate. Cyber Dragon Nova, we are not using really any of the effects. If this was a different version of Crystron, we would be using one of the effects, but we're not using the effects. It's just a stepping stone to get to Infinity, who gains 200 attack for each material. You can target a face-up attack position monster on the field, attach it to this card's material, and once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can just negate activation and destroy it. 2. K917 Ripper. Whew, this card does a lot. You can detach 1, add a K9 card from deck to hand. Then if the opponent activated a monster effect this turn, you can set a K9 quick play spell from deck or graveyard. When your opponent activates a monster effect in hand or graveyard, you can detach 1, negate that effect. Yep, negate the effect. So it stops hand traps. So usually you're going to be making this well before Summon 5. So you're going to be stopping it pretty easily. And then K9X Werewolf, he can attack up to the number of materials he has each battle phase. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, depending on whose turn it is, you get to activate one of 2 effects. On your turn, you banish up to 1 card from your opponent's field and graveyard. If it's on the opponent's turn, you can look at their hand and banish a card from it face up until end phase. It's a hand rip. And Finitrek River Stormer. Only 2 effects really matter on this thing. You can detach 1, take an Earth Machine, and either add it to hand or Foolish It. You're always adding it to hand. If it's in grave, you can tribute a Machine Link monster, special summon this card in defense position. 1 Chronomaly Vinmana. Basically, it's detached 2 for a monster negate, and it does not destroy, which does come up sometimes. 1 Nash Knight. This could really be any rank 5 that does something that isn't a light attribute. This could be like Valen, the super size Sky Blaster or whatever. It could realistically be anything. And C101 Silent Underdark is obviously the requisite material for the Nash Knight. But basically, Nash Knight cannot be destroyed by battle while a number of monsters on the field. Doesn't matter, there's rarely going to be a number monster on the field. During main phase quick effect, you can detach 2, attach a number exists from extra deck to this card that has a number between 101 and 107 in the name. Then you can attach 1 other face-up monster on the field to this card. If you want to run Super Poly, you would take out Nash Knight Silent Underdark for the Valen. You would take out 1 Ripper, and then you would play 2 Super Poly targets. That's what I would do if I was cutting Droplet for the Super Polys. Side deck is obviously just based on what you're expecting to play against. Nothing special. But that is the budget K9 Crystron deck profile. Obviously, any really expensive card, you can just play something else. A lot of the expensive cards in this deck, you can just play something else. I think the most expensive mandatory cards in this deck are Clockwork Knight and FA Dawn Dragster. Clockwork Knight, I think, is like about $5 a copy or something stupid, last I heard. But it's been a while. But Clockwork Knight's mandatory because in the off chance where you need to normal summon the Smiger, you need to link it off for the Clockwork Knight to do combo. And Scrap Recycler, it's part of some of the combos with it. And then obviously Dawn Dragster, it's one of the best machine Synchro 7s in the game. That isn't a Crystron card, because it's a spell trap negate. But that's it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you start cooking with this in the future, because not a lot of people are actually trying out budget Crystron K9. So have a good one, guys. I will see you guys next time.